Can you heal your trauma even if you don't remember it? The answer is yes, and here's why. Believe it or not, you actually do remember your trauma, but maybe not in the way that you would consider remembering your trauma. There's a quote by Stephen Porges, who's the creator of the polyvagal theory, which is the newest theory of the nervous system, that says that trauma is not an event, trauma is the response. Now, you've maybe heard of the popular phrase trauma responses. And when we talk about your trauma responses, we're talking about the adaptive, protective responses that your nervous system impulsively, instinctually went into in order to survive or make it through whatever that trauma was. So you fight, you flight or flee, you shut down, you freeze, or you fawn. Now, trauma is not found in your experience. Trauma is found in these responses, in your nervous system being stuck and overwhelmed in these impulses and patterns today in the here and now. And why does this happen? This happens when we experience something that's too overwhelming for the nervous system to cope with or to deal with, causing the nervous system to get chronically stuck in these states of survival. When we're stuck in the fight response, we lash out, we become angry, we become narcissists, we become controlling or bullying. When we're stuck in the flight response, we have that mobilizing energy of adrenaline or cortisol to get us to fight or flee, and we have to do something with it. So we stay busy, we stay distracted. This is where we overachieve, where we have panic and anxiety attacks, where we overcompensate, overthink, catastrophize. If we're stuck in a shutdown response, which is often referred to as freeze, even though they're two different states, but that'll be a totally different post. If we're stuck in a shutdown response, then we often feel lethargic, lazy, we procrastinate, we isolate, we feel depressed, shameful, sad, alone, and isolated. If we're stuck in a fawn response, this is where we appease, people please, where we put others' needs and wants before our own, where we lack boundaries, where we have a hard time asserting our own identity and what's important to us. Now, similarly, Bessel van der Kolk, the author of The Body Keeps the Score, he also states that trauma does not come back as a memory. Trauma comes back as a reaction. Similar to Porges, he recognizes that trauma is not about what happens to us, but trauma lives with us in these indelible imprints through the responses and the reactions that we get stuck in through the nervous system. So therefore, the memory really doesn't matter because our reactions, the way that we show up today, the way that we minimize, the way that we lash out, the way that we play small, the way that we run away, the way that we tend to others before ourselves, these reactions, these responses actually tell the story and the memory of our trauma. So, no, we don't have to remember what we went through in order to heal. What we went through is still being reenacted and played in a loop over and over again today in the present. So, by working with the nervous system, by getting ourselves regulated through the body and getting unstuck from those states of fight, flight, shutdown, freeze, or fawn, by coming into regulation, by coming into a place of safety within the body, within our environments, and within the relationships around us, then we can heal in the here and now without having to revisit the pain of the past.